What if I told you that you could stop spending hundreds of dollars every year on store-bought fertilizer and still grow the most vibrant flowers, the juiciest vegetables, and the healthiest soil you've ever seen? Gardeners all over the world are turning to a simple hack, one that costs next to nothing, uses items you already have at home, and outperforms many commercial products. This isn't just a money saver, it's a garden game changer. Welcome back to Golden Hours Garden, the place where passion for growing meets smart, sustainable living. Today we're unlocking a genius fertilizer hack that not only saves you big on costs, but also transforms your garden into a thriving, self-sustaining ecosystem. If you love gardening tips that make life easier and your harvest richer, make sure to subscribe to Golden Hours Garden, hit that like button, and share this with a fellow gardener who could use a little inspiration. Now let's get into the secret behind this powerful homemade fertilizer. For many gardeners, fertilizer is one of the biggest recurring expenses. Every season, the shelves at garden centers are stocked with bright bags and bottles, each promising lush growth and bumper harvests. But those promises often come with a hefty price tag. A single bag of chemical fertilizer may not seem too expensive at first glance, but when you add up the cost over months and years, it can quietly drain your wallet. And the problem isn't just financial. Many synthetic fertilizers give your plants a quick boost but leave the soil weaker over time. They create a cycle of dependency, where your garden needs more and more product just to stay alive. What once felt like feeding your plants starts to feel like feeding the fertilizer industry. Gardeners often notice the signs: soil that turns hard and lifeless, plants that look healthy for a while but fade quickly, and the constant need to buy more products just to keep things going. It's frustrating. You put in the effort, the time and the money, only to realize that the very thing you thought was helping might be holding your garden back. And that's where the real story begins, because the solution doesn't lie in spending more. It lies in looking closer at what you already have, and how nature has been fertilizing soil for millions of years, without a single chemical bag in sight. Here's the secret that most gardeners overlook. The best fertilizer doesn't come from a store. It comes from your own kitchen, your own yard, and the natural cycles already happening around you. The genius hack we're unlocking today is Compost tea, a liquid fertilizer made from everyday scraps and garden waste that you would normally throw away. Compost tea is often called liquid gold for plants, and for good reason. Unlike chemical fertilizers that deliver one or two nutrients in a rush, compost tea is packed with a balance of everything your plants crave. It's alive with beneficial microbes that feed the soil, strengthen plant roots, and help your garden defend itself against disease. And here's the best part: making it cost you next to nothing. Banana peels that once went in the trash, coffee grounds from your morning brew, vegetable scraps from dinner prep, these simple leftovers can be transformed into a nutrient-rich fertilizer that rivals the expensive stuff on store shelves. You're not just saving money, you're recycling waste into food for your soil. The process is as simple as it is powerful. Instead of pouring dollars into a bag of chemicals, you're brewing a natural solution that builds healthier soil, creates stronger plants, and keeps your garden thriving season after season. Once you see how easy it is to make, you'll never look at kitchen scraps the same way again. Making compost tea is far easier than most gardeners imagine. You don't need fancy tools or expensive gadgets. All it takes are a few simple ingredients and a little patience. Step 1 begins with gathering your materials. You'll need a container. A bucket works perfectly. Next, collect the scraps that would normally end up in the trash. Banana peels, vegetable skins, coffee grounds, eggshells. These are all rich in nutrients. Each one adds something different. Potassium for strong stems, calcium for healthier roots, nitrogen for lush green leaves. Step 2 is preparation. Place your scraps into the bucket and add water enough to cover them completely. If you have access to rainwater, use it. It's free of chemicals and closer to what plants receive in nature. If not, regular tap water will do. Step 3 is the brewing process. Let the mixture sit for at least 24 to 48 hours. During this time, nutrients from the scraps begin to leach into the water, creating a powerful liquid fertilizer. Stir the mixture once or twice a day to keep oxygen flowing and to help release more nutrients. For an even richer brew, you can let it sit for up to a week. Step 4 is straining. Once your compost tea has brewed, remove the scraps and save the liquid. The solid leftovers can be returned to your compost pile or buried directly into your garden soil. The liquid is what your plants have been waiting for, a nutrient-packed drink, ready to be absorbed. Step 5 is application. Pour the compost tea directly at the base of your plants, where the roots can take it in. For leafy vegetables or flowers, You can even use a spray bottle to mist the leaves, allowing the plants to absorb nutrients through their foliage. Use it every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season, and watch your garden respond with vibrant growth. This process turns what was once waste into a resource so valuable, you'll wonder why you ever relied on store-bought fertilizer at all. The first thing most gardeners notice after switching to compost tea is the color. Leaves take on a richer, deeper green, signaling that the plants are feeding well and producing chlorophyll at full strength. Flowers bloom longer, vegetables grow larger, and the overall garden looks more alive. But beyond appearances, the real magic happens underground. Roots grow stronger and spread wider, anchoring plants more securely in the soil. These healthier roots make plants more resilient to heat, drought, and pests, things that often overwhelm gardens fed only with synthetic fertilizers. Now let's talk about cost. A single season of store-bought fertilizer can easily run into hundreds of dollars, especially for gardeners with larger plots or multiple beds. Compost tea, on the other hand, is practically free. The scraps you used were items that would have been thrown away. The water costs almost nothing. The savings are immediate, and they add up quickly. There's also the long-term effect. Synthetic fertilizers deliver a quick shot of nutrition, but leave the soil weaker over time, forcing you to keep buying more. Compost tea works differently. It feeds the soil itself, building up its structure and life, so that year after year it only gets better. Instead of depleting your garden, you're investing in it, creating a foundation for healthier harvests far into the future. When gardeners compare the two side by side, the difference is clear. On one side, a cycle of spending, weaker soil, and constant dependency. On the other, a sustainable, thriving ecosystem that rewards you with growth and abundance without draining your wallet. One of the best things about compost tea is its flexibility. The recipe isn't locked in stone. You can adapt it depending on what your garden needs most. For plants that need a potassium boost, like tomatoes and peppers, add extra banana peels to the brew. The peels release potassium and a touch of phosphorus, which encourage stronger fruit and better flowering. If your soil is low in calcium, crushed eggshells are an excellent addition. They break down slowly, releasing calcium that strengthens cell walls, helping plants resist disease and blossom end rot. Coffee grounds are another powerful ingredient. They add nitrogen, the nutrient responsible for rich green leaves. Just don't overdo it. A small handful is enough to give your tea a healthy nitrogen kick, without throwing off the balance. For container gardens or potted plants, dilute the tea with extra water before applying. Potted plants have less soil to buffer the nutrients, so a gentler dose ensures they benefit without being overwhelmed. And here's a bonus: the scraps you strain out after brewing don't have to go to waste. Chop them up and mix them directly into your soil as a slow-release fertilizer, or toss them back into your compost pile to continue enriching future batches. By experimenting with different ingredients and applications, you can customize your fertilizer to match the unique needs of your garden. Each variation adds a new layer of resilience and growth, proving that the possibilities are as endless as the plants you grow. Every time you brew a batch of compost tea, you're doing more than just feeding your plants. You're participating in a cycle as old as nature itself, returning what was once waste back to the soil, where it becomes life again. Think about the scraps that go into the bucket. In most households, they would end up in the trash, hauled to a landfill where they contribute to pollution. But in your garden, those same scraps transform into nourishment. What once had no value becomes the foundation of growth. That simple act changes not only your garden, but the footprint you leave on the earth. There's also the issue of chemical fertilizers. Manufactured in factories, packaged in plastic, shipped across long distances, every step of that process leaves a mark on the environment. By choosing to use what you already have, you're cutting back on waste, reducing demand for harmful production, and supporting a healthier planet. This hack is more than a money saver. It's a statement. It says you don't need to rely on industries that weaken soil and pollute waterways. You can build strength in your own backyard, with your own hands, using resources you once overlooked. And the beauty is, it spreads. When friends, neighbors, or family see the results of your garden, they ask how you did it. They learn, they try, and soon the cycle grows wider. One small act of sustainable gardening can ripple out into a community, inspiring others to garden smarter, cleaner, and greener. When you choose compost tea, you're not just nourishing plants, you're nourishing the future. We began this journey with a simple question: why spend so much money on store-bought fertilizer when the most powerful solution is already in your home? Along the way, we uncovered the truth about chemical fertilizers, revealed the genius of compost tea, and walk step by step through how to make it. We saw the results: greener leaves, stronger roots, bigger harvests, and compared the cost, the savings, and the long-term benefits. We explored extra variations to fit every garden, and we looked at the bigger picture: the environmental impact, the sustainability, and the simple fact that what was once waste can become life again. It's a cycle that rewards your plants, your wallet, and the planet all at once. So the next time you finish your morning coffee, peel a banana, or chop vegetables for dinner, don't see scraps, see potential. With nothing more than a bucket of water and a little patience, you can create a fertilizer so effective it will change the way you garden forever. If you found value in today's lesson, make sure to subscribe to Golden Hours Garden, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with someone who loves to grow. And let us know in the comments, what household ingredient will you try first in your compost tea? Thank you for spending this golden hour with us. Until next time, keep your soil alive, your plants thriving, and your garden growing. And don't miss our next video, where we'll show you how to build a self-watering system for under $5, another simple trick to save money while making your garden smarter.